Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda. Welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. In this video, I go into a lot more detail about the economic well-being of US households. This was a brand new September 2020 report released by the Federal Reserve, and this is data from July 2020. So this is very important data because this gives us a true sense of the impact of the pandemic, because the pandemic hit us in March and April, and then by July the effects were apparent, and now in September we have real data, we have real analysis. Now I will provide you with a link in the description section below to the actual document so you can check it out for yourself. But in this video, I'm going to break it down and make it really simple and really easy for my viewers. Now, I did do another video where I went into a lot of detail about the impact as far as unemployment benefits were concerned, the impact as far as parents were concerned, as far as different income levels were concerned. In this video, I'm going to dig deeper into the impact of financial assistance. Yes, I'll give you a clear idea of how things have happened nationally in terms of the financial assistance. And by the way, I know that my viewers and subscribers are struggling, are waiting, but I do think it's valuable for us to know what's going on at a nationwide level, which is where this data comes in. Let's show you this table on your screen, this figure on your screen. This is figure 7, which shows you the forms of assistance received and requested. So for unemployment insurance, a majority of individuals who did apply did receive it, although there proportionately three out of every 11 individuals who applied. So out of every 11 individuals who got assistance, there were 3 who applied for it or requested it but did not receive it. So proportionately for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the ratio was 10:2. For free groceries and meals, the ratio was 8:1. So a lot of individuals did indeed get help, but as you can see, there were individuals who were left behind. Let's take a look at figure 8, which shows you the unemployment insurance benefits relative to pre-layoff wages. In other words, relative to wages before the person lost their job prior to the pandemic by family income. So individuals who made less than $40,000, as you can imagine, you look at the dark blue portion, unemployment benefits were higher than prior income. So again, individuals who made less than $40,000 with the $600 a week federal booster, which is what this is taking into consideration, because remember, this is data from July, so it's considering the federal booster. Those individuals made more money. So basically, as you can see from a percentage standpoint, 56% of individuals who made less than $40,000, according to this data, made more than they made prior to the pandemic. 27% of individuals made about the same, and 16% of individuals made less than prior income. Now remember, how much you receive in unemployment benefits depends on the formula from your state, and so that's what this is. That's why there are variations here. Now here's what's interesting. If you look at the chart, if you look at the part of the chart where it shows you between $40,000 to $100,000 a month, you'll see that 39% of individuals relative to the 56% in the upper section for those who made less than $40,000. So 39% of individuals made more money with unemployment benefits. And as you can imagine, for individuals who made greater than $100,000, there were actually 20% of individuals who made more on unemployment benefits, but 60% made less on unemployment benefits. So some unbelievable data here. Let's take a look at figure 9 on your screen. June 2020 income relative to February 2020. By the way, as I'm recording, I'm in my patio. The sun is emerging from the clouds and sort of hitting my face. It's not as hot as you think, because it's actually kind of chilly here, believe it or not. But if you see the sun, I'm okay. I'm not going to, I'm not getting baked or anything. Plus, I like the sun. I like being out here. Puts me in a good mood to try and get through some of this tough data and some of this sort of dense information for my community. So figure 9, June 2020 income relative to February 2020 by employment disruption. In other words, you're taking into account what was the reason that the individual got laid off. You see those different colors at the bottom of figure 9, no layoffs or hours reduction, all the way through to experience disruption and not working, did not receive unemployment benefits. So this takes into consideration employment disruption and unemployment insurance benefits received. So you can see for certain individuals who had a different type of employment disruption, the June income was lower, but for other individuals, the June income was actually higher. If you look at the June income was lower chart, you see those who experienced disruptions and were not working, did not receive unemployment benefits. You can see how significantly impacted they were in the month of June. So now the really important thing to look at in figure 9 is the section where it says experienced disruption and not working received unemployment benefits. So that blue portion is the important portion, because those are the individuals who did have their job impacted and who are receiving or were receiving unemployment benefits. You can see that in June, when it says June income was low, 47% of them fall under that category, and June income was higher, 28% of them fall under that category. This shows you how significant the unemployment benefits were. Now, figure 10 on your screen will show you individuals who received or requested assistance on housing payments by home ownership status. You see the data for renters and you see the data for owners with a mortgage. You can see that a significant number of individuals did indeed need help. Figure 11, you'll see individuals who borrowed from or cashed out retirement savings account, because that was allowed under the CARES Act, and there were some amendments so that penalties would be less of a factor. So individuals who borrowed or cashed out retirement savings account in the past 12 months by employment disruption. Individuals who were laid off took advantage of that. Individuals who didn't have a layoff did not take advantage of that. And finally, let's take a look at overall financial security. You see table 2 on your screen, which shows you a share of adults at least doing okay financially by demographic status. So you can see that individuals making less than $40,000 a year, when you go from October 2019 to July 2020, they were doing okay thanks to the $600 a week federal booster. This is really important. Taking a close look at this chart tells you how important the $600 a week booster was, because individuals, life kind of, it helped normalize life. It helped stabilize life. Let's take a look at figure 12. Doing okay or living comfortably by employment disruption and unemployment benefits since March 2020. So again, you can see individuals with no layoffs, as you can expect, no impact. But individuals who did experience disruption and receiving unemployment benefits, there was impact, because this does, one way or another, it does cause an impact. So you can start to see the effects from October 2019 all the way through July 2020 on this chart. And this is the reason why we need a second stimulus check, and this is the reason why we need enhanced unemployment benefits desperately. If you take a look at figure 13 on your screen, the ability to pay bills in full in the month of the survey, the darker portion represents October 2019 and the lighter portion represents July 2020. You see that the ability was almost unimpacted, regardless of whether the individual's job was laid off or not, because of the massive fiscal support from the CARES Act, which essentially went away in the end of July 2020. In fact, if you take a look at table 3, this shows you bills to leave unpaid or only partially paid in July. As you can see, the impact was disproportionate. So let's say you don't have any money and you can't pay your bills. What are you going to do? As you can see, look at the credit card number 44. People were either deferring people were deferring their credit card bills, people were deferring their phone and cable bills, but people were not deferring their car payments, because you don't want to lose your car, and people were trying to defer their overall gas or electric bill, but were trying not to defer their rent payments because those numbers were smaller. Now this is the data that really jumped out at me. Now if you take a look at figure 14 on your screen, this shows you individuals who would pay $400 in cash or equivalent by employment disruption and unemployment benefits receipt since March 2020. In other words, if you came up with if you had to come up with $400, could you pay it in cash? So what this shows you is that remained relatively stable for all categories from October 2019 all the way through July 2020. In fact, let's take a look at table 4 on your screen right now. And table 4 shows you individuals who would cover a $400 emergency expense completely using cash or its equivalent by year. So in look at the numbers from October 2019 through July 2020 across all income levels. You see that the change is not much. In fact, and this is the shocking part, in July 2020, despite the massive economic disruption, more individuals could come up with $400 in an emergency and come up by, pay $400 in cash if they had to. So let's take a look at figure 15. This is the really surprising thing. Let's say you were making less than $25,000. Your ability to come up with $400 in cash actually went up from 35 to 45 basis points. And if you're making $25,000 to $49,999, your ability to come up with $400 in cash went up from 53 to 58 basis points and so on. This shows that all the support under the CARES Act, all the extra enhanced unemployment benefits went a long, long way in providing individuals the financial buffer, the financial cushion, and avoiding that economic despair that we are now starting to see sort of come out into the open because of the highly limited lost wages assistance program. The bottom line is this: Congress must act to help individuals who need it the most. Let me know what you thought of all the data. I know this was a lot of dense data, but I wanted to present it to you because the Federal Reserve actually released this information today. So I want to know what you think. Please comment below and let me know what you think. Please share this video with friends and family and let me know exactly what you think about this surprising information. And let's hope that Congress comes to a consensus and helps individuals, because the fiscal support must continue. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you don't know anything about me, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, and I want to help you live your American dream. I'll never get tired of saying that I'm a beneficiary of American exceptionalism, and I want to again help you live your American dream. So please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications so you can get instant updates from us going forward on this channel. Now, sometimes YouTube does not send out instant notifications. So what you may want to do is bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way you can visit our homepage and watch the videos at any point in time that you want. So make sure you do that. You can get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you can get added to our SMS list. You can also, if you want, go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and then you can get on our email list. You can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any time. Now, you can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. And you can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is the exact same, ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. Now, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. So please make sure you click like, you subscribe, you enable notifications. Please share this video if you thought that it was beneficial and if you feel your friends and family should know about it. And also, please comment below and let us know what you thought of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.